Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Garrison Institute's live interactive webinar. Today, our guests are Gayla and Aaron Stiles. Gayla and Aaron are licensed acupuncturists with training in Eastern-based medical disciples of Tui Na, Chinese herbal formulas, gua sha, cupping, qigong, moxibustion, 5-element nutrition, and craniosacral therapy. Before we begin today's session, I'll go over a few logistical items about our gathering. We are on a Zoom webinar, so participant audio and video are turned off, and you'll only see Gayla and Aaron, and for the time being, myself. For anyone unable to attend live, we are recording these sessions. You'll have a chance to view recordings as well as a schedule of upcoming programs at garrisoninstitute.org. We offer these sessions free of charge as a goodwill gesture to support our community during such times of uncertainty. We would welcome donations of any amount to help us continue to offer these sessions. Thank you. Finally, we'll have time for Q&A during this gathering. You can post your questions in the Q&A panel, which is located at the bottom of your screen by hovering your arrow over the Q&A button. We're on for an hour today, and we'll respond to as many questions as we can. Please forgive us if we're not able to get to your question. Thank you again, Gayla and Aaron, for being with us today, and I will turn it over to you.
For one and all, practices that transform stress into vitality. I'm Aaron Stiles, as said, an acupuncturist. I'm a certified meditation teacher with the Universal Healing Tao system under the auspices of Grandmaster Mantak, Chia, Taoist minister Karen Sorvik, as well as a senior instructor with New York Internal Arts International under Mr. Tom Bizio.
Hi, everybody. My name is Gayla Marie Stiles. I, too, am a licensed acupuncturist and have studied the traditions of the Universal Healing Tao under Karen Sorvik. As an acupuncturist, my primary practice was based in integrative care settings, where I got to work at New York Presbyterian Hospital, Columbia University Medical Center, as well as SUNY's Fashion Institute of Technology.
So the practices that we're going to be learning today are rooted in the traditions and lineages that we just mentioned. And we find that they greatly improve sleep, they support immune function, and they also help manage stress levels during these times.
So having said that, nothing we do should feel harmful in any way. It shouldn't feel overstimulating. And we ask that you come and practice with us with a sense of play and the desire to explore during this time. If you do, however, notice anything that gives you pause, please do honor that. You can just take a second, listen to us, watch us, and when you feel ready, go ahead and rejoin.
So that being said, we're going to get ourselves started. We have two guests. Very fortunate to welcome today my mother, Lynn Stiles, and our older daughter, Zeta Stiles, and I'll bring them in right now.
Hello. So the practices that we're going to share with you today, we have used during this time together. We've been living together as a blended family for quite some time during this pandemic and have found them useful. So sometimes when we learn new things, it can be challenging, and especially when we're learning new things for the first time. This first practice is about just getting ourselves into a neutral place and getting our minds, our ears, and our bodies ready to do what will come next. So I'm going to show a seated version of this practice, and then my guests and friends and family will show a standing practice. Feel free to try any or all of these, and again, move from kindness with yourself. As a person that's seated, I'm going to make sure that I'm at the edge of my chair with my knees about on top of my ankles, feet pointing forward. If you're choosing to stand during this time, pick a stable place, right? If you know that you have issues with balance, know that a wall is out there. If you have a chair, you can stand and place your hand on the back of the chair if that feels supportive to you. In terms of the stance, you can let it be wide. A little bit wider than your hips is what most people feel comfortable with. So wherever you are, just take a second. Take a breath in. As you exhale, include in your awareness your feet. Take another breath in, and when you exhale, think about your right foot. Start to press down into that right foot. And what I notice for myself is that there's some energy, there's some activation that happens along that whole right side of my body. Maybe you feel that too. And if you don't, it's okay. Just continue to play. Without moving your face, just move your eyes. Press into your right foot and look to the right. Look to the right, pressing your foot. Look to the right, pressing your foot. Then relax that. Send your attention to your left foot. Press down into your left foot. And then just move the eyes. Simply move the eyes to the left. Ground your left foot. Eyes look left. And then relax that. Think about the back of your foot where your heel is. Press down into the heel and look up. Eyes only, look up. Heels down, eyes up. Heels down, eyes up. Then we'll reverse that. Go to the front of your foot, where the ball of your foot, where your toes are. Include that area into your attention and press down. As you press down, look down with only your eyes. Eyes look down. Press into the balls of your feet. Eyes look down and just simply press into the balls of your feet. And then relax that. Bring your hands up in front of you, and then you're just going to rub your palms together. The purpose of this is just to generate some heat, to generate warmth. And when you feel that warmth, open your hands like a book, and then you're going to place your hands over your eyes. If it feels comfortable to you, close your eyes. Become aware of that heat and use that heat to soften the muscles behind your eyes, soften your face, soften your shoulders and throat. Bring your attention again to your right foot. Press the right foot down, and with eyes closed or eyes covered, look to the right. Release. Think about the left foot. Press into the left foot. Eyes look to the left. And release that. And maybe with eyes closed or covered, a little bit clearer picture of where you're at is coming into your sensibilities. Press into the heels. This is where heels down, eyes up. Then press into the balls of your feet or the toes and look down. And then release that. Slowly open your eyes and then peel the hands away from your face. I'm going to take a look at my hands. I'm going to place the thumbs on the sides of my eyes, or the space where my temples are. And then my fingers are going to come to rest above my eyebrows. It's almost like I'm making little goggles to look at. And then those fingers are going to sweep up and over the brow towards the temples. Try with me. Up and over the brow, into the temples, up and over the brow to the temples. We'll move under the eye. Swipe the fingers underneath the eye and up, underneath the eye and up. One more time, underneath the eye and up. From here, we're going to make gentle fists. Now, when you take a look at your hand, there's the flat part of the knuckles, and then there's the knuckles themselves. We're going to start by using the flat part of the knuckles. Flats of the knuckles go to the area of the temples. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, press down into the feet. And gently put a little pressure into those flats of the knuckles. And start to make some circling motions. The pressure, the size, and the tempo of your actions should be whatever's right for you. Now, what does right mean? Right means, does it feel like it's opening an area of tightness? And does it feel like it's soothing to your body and mind? Start to take that circle into the hairline. You may notice a little tight spots or sensitive spots. That's okay, adjust your pressure accordingly. Continue to circle, following the curve of the ear down towards the base of the head. Okay. Then pause for a second. We're going to do another pass. You have an option now to use that pointed part for more focal pressure. So go again, knuckles come to the sides of the eyes, and then gentle circles, moving from the temple towards the hairline, following the curve of the ear down towards the back of the head. Good. Take another breath in. And when you breathe out, just let your arms drop. Give them a little bit of a shake. And then reach those arms forward. You're going to bend your elbow. This is going to become our working hand. The working hand is going to touch the free hand. And then you're going to trace up the back of the arm towards the heart, and then down towards the palm. Up and down. Two more. Up and down. Last time. Up and down. Trace your hand all the way up and pause in that spot where your shoulder meets your torso. Working hand is going to make a fist. Fist comes to your chest. Fist comes to your chest. Outward circles. Moving from outside of the chest towards the heart. Outside of the chest, down towards the heart. And stretch your hands forward. And we're going to make a little fist with our hands. Fist with our hands. Thumbs point up. Those thumbs are going to go underneath the chin, right? And like a little kitty cat, you're going to stroke underneath your chin, underneath your chin. And pause, press down into your feet, take a breath in, using your thumbs to guide you. Stretch the chin up towards the ceiling, any amount. Trying to open up the area of the throat, all the way down to that heart that you just touched. Open the palms, and then stroke down the throat towards the heart. And reach the arms forward when you're ready. We'll move to the other side. Other elbow bends. This becomes the working hand. Working hand touches free hand. Free hand traces up the back of the arms, down towards the palm, up and down. Breathing in and out. One more, in and out. Trace up towards the shoulder and pause. Working hand makes a fist. Fist is at the chest, outward circles. Remember that you choose the pressure, the size, and the tempo of your circle to feel right to you. Right means that your breath is calm. Right means that it feels soothing to your body, mind. Right means that it feels opening to any areas of tightness you're touching. Okay. Working palm opens, place it on the heart. Second hand follows. 2 hands on heart. Press down. Audibly exhale. Sounds like this. Again, feel your feet. Breathe in. Audible out breath. One more time with me. Breathing in. Brush from heart down to belly. Heart to belly. And then pause. Palms over your belly button or your navel. And then we're going to start to circle. You can choose which direction for now. Again, making the choice. What feels right? You pick the size of the circle. You get to pick how hard or how soft you need to press right now. And how quickly you circle. Good, and pause. And then reverse that direction. Circle 4 more times. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pause with the hands at the navel. Feel your feet. And as you breathe out, soften belly. Take another breath in. Another opportunity to soften your breath, your heart, your belly. Look at my hands. Hands are going to go back to that gentle fist shape. I'm going to have Zeta turn around so you can see what happens from another view. These fists are going to go onto the low back, fist to low back. And then in an up and down motion, rub your hands onto your low back. Other ways that this can feel good to people is if they make circles, just like we did at the temples. Other people might enjoy exploring an in-out motion, moving from the outside of the waist towards the spine. And then pause for a second wherever you are. Open the palms wide so the fingers spread wide. Fingers spread wide. Using the backs of the palms, connect low back to belly. So sweep the hands to the navel. 2 more times. Low back to navel. Low back to navel. And pause. Hands on the abdomen. Take a breath in. Connect. Soften heart. Soften belly. Take the palms. Place them on the outside of the hips. Zeta, you can go ahead and turn around now. Press down and start to move the hands down towards the feet and up the leg. Down and up. Down and up. One more time. We sweep down and up. Place the hands again onto the belly and pause. Sense how you feel. Good. You can release the arms. And if you're seated, we're going to go ahead and stand. It's okay right now to take a little bit of a walk, see how you feel, and we're going to rejoin us for the next exercise.
Okay, hope we all enjoyed that part there. For our next part, we're going to now move some energy to certain major organ systems of the body with very simple movement. Now this can be done standing, or it can be done seated as well. Zeta will sit down in just a minute right before we begin here. So first thing we want to make sure is that our feet are wider than our hips, even if we're seated or standing on our feet, a little bit wider than our hips, so we have a nice solid base and a solid foundation to work from. The feet, if they can be parallel. A little bit open is okay, but if you can get them as parallel as possible, that's great. So let's begin. Bring your arms down by your side in a natural stance. We're going to do 3 washes. So open the palms to the front, bring them up towards the ceiling, and as if you're pouring a warm oil over the body, exhale and relax down the front of the body, chest, belly, fronts of legs, all the way down to the feet. We're going to do this 2 more times, this time down the back of the body. So inhaling, if that works, like you're being poured with warm oil down the whole back of the body, low back, backs of legs, calves, all the way down to the feet. 3rd and last time, inhaling, and like a funnel in the top of your head, pouring that warm oil down the organs, the brain, the eyes, throat, all the way down to the bones of the legs. Wonderful. Hands are going to come up, palms facing down, right in front of your shoulders. This first exercise will help the chest, the upper body, and the respiratory function as well. So let the arms come out, and then they're going to kind of scoop, and we're going to bend our knees and bring the hands, palms together, facing up. Good. Turn those palms down, opening, scooping, bending, bringing the hands together, turning the palms down, inhaling if this is available to you, turning the hands to be palm up, bending. Great, everyone. Turning, opening, scooping, great. Bending palms towards the ceiling, turn, inhale. Palms face up, exhale. So it's like opening and closing, in this aspect, the front of the lungs and the chest, and then we're going to open the back by closing the front. Let's do 3 more. 1. Great. 2. Excellent, everyone. And last one, 3. Opening the arms, scooping, coming down. Great. Let's just stand up, open the hands out to the side. And we're going to take that left hand, put the back of your left hand rested on your low back. We're going to now start a scooping action. This is good for the waist, the low back. So as I bend my legs, I'm going to bring my right arm down, scooping across to the left side. Now, like I'm looking at my watch, I'm going to bring my hand across my field of vision and let the big lid on a pot, I'm going to put it down by bending the legs. And that'll bring me into my scooping. Looking at our watch, coming across our field of vision. Lid on the pot, down. Good, that blends into our scooping. Checking out the watch, bringing the hand all the way across, feeling the rotation at the low back, pressing and squatting gently. Good, 2 more times. Hand comes across. Yep, and pressing, last time. And looking at the watch. Now when the hand comes out to the side, just keep it to the side this time. Let that other arm come out. Right hand, or whichever hand is the opposite for you at this time, goes to the back. Back of the hand rests on the low back. Let's do this again, only to the opposite side now. Scooping, keep those joints round if you can. Hand comes across the field of vision. Lid on the pot, bend the knees. Scooping. Great, looking at the watch, coming across. Lid on the pot. Scooping, great job, everyone. Hand comes across, down, bending. Let's do this 2 more times. 1. And last one, number 2. Great. Bring that free hand out to the side, so both hands are out again. Bring them to the front, so they're right in front of your arms. Great. Palms are going to turn up towards the sky, and as I bend my knees, I'm going to bring the hands back. Okay, so now we're going to kind of interchange the hands left and right. As we stand, we'll reach with one hand, pull with the other hand. So I'm going to straighten my knees and take my right hand and reach out, palm facing down. Now we're going to pause in this middle place. So start to bring that back. Left hand comes in. And now we're at this middle place. We're in a squat. And it's kind of like you're holding a basketball. So now we're going to change the hands. I'm going to pull my right hand back. I'm going to straighten through my legs. And I'm going to reach. Let's try that again. Hands come to meet. Standing up straight, reaching with one hand. Again, hands come to meet while we squat. Changing to the other hand. One reaches, one pulls. Meeting in the middle, that basketball. Pulling with one, reaching with the other. Great job. And hands come together. Pulling with one, reaching with the other as we straighten. Bending. And then extending out. Bending. Great, and extending out. Let's do this a few more times. Bending, hands across from each other, and then they change. One reaches, one pulls. Bending. Extending, great job. 2 more times. 1. Great. And 2. We have straight legs here. We have one arm out. Keep it out. Take the other hand, meet it palm down. Bring our hands out to the sides. Now we're going to bring the hands down, and they're going to be as if you're holding a large beach ball, and you're going to bend those legs into our squat. So holding a large beach ball at the bottom in our squat. Now here's for the next exercise, great for the circulation of the body. We're going to take that left hand, we're going to lift it up like we're shielding the sun. I'm going to take my right hand, bring it to my chest, and I'm going to push that right hand out towards that left hand. Let's go back to holding that big beach ball. And then we're going to do the opposite. Right hand lifts like we're shielding the sun. Left hand to chest center, press. Great. Holding that beach ball. And left hand up, right hand to chest. Press. Good job. Back to the beach ball. And lifting the right, left. Exhale if you choose here. Inhale if you choose at the beach ball. Lifting left, right. Press. Great. One more time. Right arm up. Left hand to chest, press. Good, straighten those legs, bring the hands all the way back out to the sides, palms facing down. Hands are going to come down. And now we're going to touch our thumbs and our index fingers like we have a little viewfinder. Now eventually this viewfinder is going to go up. We're going to look through it. And we're going to be turning left and right. As we turn, we're going to bend. When we come back to our central position, we'll be standing still. So let's first bring that viewfinder up. And you can imagine you have like a little unicorn horn. It can be right about at the tip of that. Now, if this is too strenuous for the arms, you can separate the hands to find a comfortable position. So, looking through our viewfinder, let's go to the left and we bend as we look to the left and turn the waist. Straighten the legs, come back to center. And then to the right, bend, twisting. Good. Center, straighten. Left, and center. Right and center. Left. Great job. Center. Right. Excellent. And center. Now, let those hands come down, facing each other towards that basketball that we had before. Bend the legs. So now we're going to bicycle the hands. Remember that basketball? We're going to bicycle the hands, or should I say the ribs and the low back. Now, it's not too big of a motion. You don't want to drop that basketball. You want to have some sort of connection between the hands. We're going to do an exercise that works the upper, middle, and lower trunk of the body. So, have the hands meet, palms facing each other. Turn that left hand towards the ceiling. Bring the fingertips towards the body. And now we're going to turn the palm of the left hand down as we poke the sky with our right hand. Look down and backwards at that left hand. Relax heart. Relax belly. Feel the feet on the floor. Great. Coming back to our basketball. And we're going to roll that a few more times here. Now right hand. Right hand turns up. Fingers towards the body. Turn the right palm down behind you as you lift through that left hand poking the sky. Look down and back at the right palm. Try and relax the body. Soften. Feel yourself being pulled in two directions. Great. Now we're just going to bring those arms out to our side. Like so, palms facing down. Hands are going to come towards the belly button. So you can take one hand and cover the belly button. Take the center of the other palm, cover the belly button. Breathe into your center. 3 or 4 inches right behind that belly button. If you need a little pressure, feel free to add a little pressure as you exhale. Gently lifting the corners of the eyes. Gently lifting the corners of the mouth, creating an inner smile of gratitude. A thank you to yourself for taking the time to keep healthy and compassionate with oneself. And let the hands come down, just natural standing. Feel your feet on the floor. Excellent job. Great job, everyone. Go ahead and shake it out if you need. That's our last part for the Qigong section. And we're going to now move on to some self-massage here. Thank you so much for coming in, Zeta.
Okay, so if you have a ball, now's the time to grab it.
Here it is.
So if you don't have a tennis ball or one of those like little spiny massage balls, it's no problem. I'm just going to show you a couple ways that we're going to be able to use it. So first, how to use the ball. So you can play with however feels comfortable. We found that while we're doing these different sequences, it's easiest to interlace the fingers and let the ball rest in between the palms. Okay. For those of you that don't have access to a ball, we're just going to go back to that fist shape with our hands and use that as our ball. So make your choice about how you would like to be. I'm going to show a standing practice. Grandma is here seated, and then we have air in position so that you can have a glimpse of what things might look like on the back of the body. So first thing I'm going to do is find the top of my head. make my fist and place the fist on top of my head. Second hand follows. For those using the ball, place the ball on top, interlace the fingers, and let the palms mold over the ball. Take a second to pause. Use your out breath to relax your shoulders and let the elbows feel heavy. Now, if we only did this action and we grain towards collapsing in the neck, so soften the knees, press into the feet, and ascend, lengthen through the spine. So what we have is two equal forces, one down, one up. And then begin to take your ball or your fist and make small little circles around the crown of the head. Good, and then reverse that direction. And then find a moment of stillness. With your ball or with your fist, you're going to take your hands and move them down the back of the head. You can roll that ball if it's possible. If it gets away from you, no problem. Just get your ball and join. You're going to stop in the hollow of the neck. Right, so what does that mean? The hollow of the neck is the place where the head and the neck meet. There's like a little indentation for most there. The elbows are going to draw forward, and then I'm going to slightly push back with my head and neck. Right? Be gentle. You can start by making circles, almost like you're surveying the landscape of this area. And then pause. This time the ball stays still, the fist stays still, and the head moves. So start to move the head left to right like you're saying no. Again, you move at the pace that feels right to you, feels soothing to your body, mind, and opening to a place of congestion. And then say yes. Notice how that shifts any sensations you feel at the back of the neck. And then pause. Take your fist or your ball and move it to the right, just to the right side of the head. Right? Not quite on the head, but more on the back of the neck. You might find a soft spot there, or maybe an area of tightness. Press, elbows forward, head back. And go ahead and turn the head side to side like you're saying no. And then change, say yes. And then pause. If you like, make small circles in that area. And start to move your fists and your hands through center to the left side. Now remember in the beginning when we were working together how I talked about using the flats of the knuckles or the sharp part. Right? Explore both here if you have no ball. And pause, letting the ball or the fist rest in the spot that feels like it wants to be touched a little bit more. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, draw the elbows forward, press back with the head, neck area. And say no. Shake your head, yes. And then pause. Take hold of your ball, and then bring the arms down by the side. You can give them a little shake if your arms feel tired. I'm going to switch over to Erin. If you're somebody that doesn't have a ball, you can stay with me. I'm going to be here on this side.
All right. So we're going to kind of work 4 quadrants here of the body. We have 1 and 2 in front of the shoulders. And then we're going to have 3 and 4 where the leg meets the trunk. And then there's 2 centers. Chest center, belly button, belly center. So again, 1, 2 in front of the shoulders, 3, 4 in front of the legs where they meet the body, and then 2 chest centers. Let's start with the left side. So take that ball if you have it, or your fist, put it in the right hand. Bring it over to your left shoulder and start to work in circles. Now, generally we find that an outward motion moving towards the arm and away from the heart is very good. Usually the easiest, but you can experiment. See what feels right for you. Great. Now you can just take that hand, and maybe the other one can help, and roll it to the center of the chest. Your sternum, your chest bone here. One hand over the other, you're going to roll it in a circle. And you're actually trying to find a really sensitive spot. Maybe you have a couple, okay? And if you find that spot, you want to work into it a little bit. Only you know the pressure. This is a personal practice. Great job. Now we're going to roll that ball over using our left hand. And we're going to do the same in front of the right shoulder. For some people, they may find that a little higher is nice near the collarbone. For some people, they might like it an inch or 2 lower. That's up to you. The speed, the circle amount, the pressure is all up to you. Great, let's bring it back to that chest, rolling it back to the chest center. And again, finding that little spot that might be very sensitive. Smiling and working into it. Great. Let's have that ball roll down the belly to the navel, and if you can, then roll it around the navel's edge. So it can be a small circle. If you feel like it needs to be bigger, great. And if you can, change direction. See if there's maybe another wave feels nice. Excellent. We're going to roll that ball down into the left hip, so the front of the hip where the leg meets the trunk. Use a fist if you're following Gayla. You're going to press into that just a tad, and now we're going to forward bend. Feel that ball come into the body very gently. Inhale and exhale while you're in this forward bend. And then press through the feet. If you're standing, bend your knees. Roll up the vertebra and circles in front of that hip. Help regulate this area. Good. Roll that ball over to the opposite side now. Change hands if that feels more comfortable. Find a hollow to place that in. Gently press it in. And then, again, forward bend. You may feel the ball pressing in and even a little bit of your hands. That's great. And pressing through the feet. If you're standing, bending your knees, rolling up, and then regulating that by giving a little circle that side. Excellent. Roll that back up to the navel, around the navel. All of the fascia and the tissue of your body connects here, the navel. Change the direction. And then slowly come to a stop. Take a breath in. Exhale, press that ball or fist into the navel as you exhale. On your own inhale, relax the pressure. And then as you exhale again, press, sending that information deep into the center of the body. Great. Stand holding the navel. If you don't want the ball anymore, you're welcome to drop it. But if not, you can keep it there, with a little bit of added pressure. Feeling the change in your body. What we offer are tools. We find it handy to have a couple tools in our bag of health to keep us sane, happy, healthy as best as we can be. Wonderful. All right. Well, that's it for the movement aspect and the tools that we offered today. We do have a Q&A coming up. We would like to personally thank the Garrison Institute for hosting us. And if you do feel like you want to donate, you just go to garrisoninstitute.org. And if you have any questions for us or any additional resources that you would like from Gayla or myself, you're more than welcome to go to our website, thebreathingtree.com. Now we're going to go to our Q&A part of the event.
So we invite folks with questions to enter them into the Q&A box, which you see on the bottom of your screen. While we're waiting, you know, Gayla and Aaron, one thing I've been wondering about is, you know, you integrated your whole family into this. And, you know, I think it's really rich to think about how to bring these practices to the, you know, older folks that we're sharing our homes with, to younger folks that we're sharing our homes with. It's a very unique practice in that way. So if there's anything you can share with people about, you know, how do you use different language dependent on who you're embracing into these practices? You know, for those that have never done this before, how can you frame it so that various people can access these practices?
You know, I find that, you know, even being clinicians and working with a large demographic of people, we find that the tools that are the simplest are most accessible, because it involves and it allows you to create a personal practice, not like the right way to do it, the wrong way to do it, but the key is to do it and to make it part of your life. And so when we practice these things, these exact things that you see, you know, daily, we just gently ask our daughter, hey, between your homework, do you want to come and you know, work with us a little bit, or can I try something out on you? And so we often ask it as a question like that. And next thing you know, they'll kind of mention it at dinner later on, like, oh, you know, I felt a little bit different after you did that. Or with our daughter, sometimes we'll hear her talk to a friend about it. And so it's not about ordering or commanding or saying you should do this because it's good for you, but to keep the invitation open and accessible and simple, that people are inspired to do it on their own.
Great.
For me, I think a tool's only as good as you can use it, right? So if it doesn't have elements of being discreet and usability within any kind of moment, whether for myself, it was standing, trying to find patients, cooking dinner, knowing that I have emails to send out, or standing before I go into an ICU room at the hospital, finding ways to connect to my breath and to really, I think, embody the guiding principles of our practices, which are take a second to reflect, embody, and make a choice about what to do next. I mean, those are the kind of tools I think can be helpful, whether you're a kid that's going to get ready to take an exam, or a grandparent who is managing their own challenges with aging or their own discomforts, or figuring out how to have what was a quiet house and now one that is full of life and voices.
Great. And there are a few questions coming in that are similar, which are about, you know, how often can you practice these, and what is a frequency that allows for optimal benefit?
Good question. The order in which we showed it is often an order how it would happen throughout the day. The beginning part, the self-massage, also called Dao Yin, that is something that we do before we cook breakfast. It's usually done on the edge of your bed, And it just gets the body from its quiet state, and it gives it a middle ground before it has to go to a full waking state. And it allows for you to feel yourself in the space. So that is often done then. But that being said, any tool can be pulled out of the bag at any time. You know, the middle part where I was leading some of the moving part, that's often done because it's moving and a little bit stronger, a little bit, has more vitality to it. What happened in the afternoon when the sun is out and there's more energy just naturally out in the day. And then just like how we framed it, the last massage part, that would happen often in the evening, because you've had this day of emails, a little bit more stress that you've accumulated from morning, afternoon into evening. And so you can help work that away, disperse it, so the body's a little bit more regulated when you're ready to go to bed, and you can go to bed in a more neutral state rather than taking all of that with you.
I think to answer the question is, I think we said a lot, like, what's the right thing for you? I think it's about having, again, that sense of play, right? Taking something like this, rubbing the eyes. I know for me right now, as I'm moving and doing a lot and we are moving towards our new virtual reality, and my eyes get tired. And then when my eyes get tired, the back of my head gets tired and my neck starts to feel short and my shoulders are up. So play with it, right? And if you have 5 minutes, you swipe your eyes, maybe massage down your head when you notice that ache coming, right? Have a ball that's close by and just roll at the back of the head. So in general, too much is when when you've noticed that the breath feels too quick, when you feel like the practices are overstimulating to you, or you notice that maybe there's a discomfort or a disease, right? Maybe would be a sign for too much, or to change something in how you're practicing, whatever your practice be, whether it's yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong. But I think the guiding principles of this type of medicine are: we pause, we reflect, and we see, is this the tool that is giving me the benefit and allowing me to move forward in a way that's aligned with who I'm trying to be, what I want to try to be right now?
The pause is very important because it gives you a before and after. If you take that pause, even if it's just a split second to actually feel where you are, then you do whatever technique it is, whichever one. And then if you take another pause, you can then analyze, did that change? Did that tool work? Did it help me for this next moment? If it did, keep it in your bag.
Great. And that's responding to a question here, can you break up the practices and fit them into your life as best you can, a bit here, a bit there?
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. They can be. There's some times when I'm, like how Gayla actually mentioned, you're cooking just after you got off doing a bunch of emails, and I'll do some of just that eye qigong, little, like she said, the circles, or sometimes it's just some of the neck stuff. And that little bit, I often find, allows me to answer one of our daughters in a more thoughtful, compassionate way, rather than just answering them and maybe not my most skilled self.
Right. Another question here is around, do certain movements or visualizations tie to different clusters or kinds of emotions, and being kind of swept over by certain emotions when you're doing this body work?
I think that's a great point. The practices that we offer are rooted in an integrated view of body, mind, and spirit. So sometimes when we feel that swell of emotion, it's because it's time. It's time for us to look at that and manage that, right? But that's also to say that it may not feel like it's the right place, right, to be able to have that into your experience. So when that happens, like we say to ourselves, like we say to our kids, when that swell of feeling comes, know that it's okay. It's okay to have a feeling. And very often our feelings are a response to what's our authentic experience. Next step is you feel your feet on the ground. We talked a lot about that, right? When the emotion feels big, we connect to something that feels grounding, right? We can connect down to the floor. We can easily touch something that feels solid. And then bring our attention also to the belly, right? The belly is the place that takes in everything, our food, our environment, as well as our emotions, and processes it. The gift of this kind of practice is that it gives us a tool to be able to move through and navigate our emotions in a way that's not always going to that front part of our brain that has to assess and place judgment and blame or shoulder all of the burden of a situation. We move to create a sense of flow and regulation and bring us closer to a place that feels neutral and not driven by an emotional response.
It's like I tell some of my students, the practices work like putting brakes on a car coming towards a stoplight. When you start to apply the brakes, you're generally not doing the laundry list because you know you have to stop. You know that there's something ahead that you need to do. And by just doing the practice, not even like I said, you can inhale, exhale, honestly, whenever you want, because in the doing of it, the simple hitting the brakes, which might just be this exercise here, in the actual doing, feeling the shirt on the body, the wind in the room on the hand, just doing what you're doing, that will naturally slow the car down on its own until it comes to a stop, rather than thinking, I have to slam on the brakes to stop everything right now. So giving ourselves that time, the ability to realize things are swelling up right now. I'm going to do something. It's not maybe going to work right at this moment, but if I just keep doing it and just pay attention to where I am while I'm doing it, things will start to slow down and you'll eventually come to that stop.
And if you don't, it's also okay.
Yeah.
So all of that in mind, right? The design of these types of practices and the medicine that we're trained to practice in happens in a comprehensive and integrative way, meaning there are moments when we need help, and that might be help from our community or from our partners, and also from other medical professionals. Our task is to know when we're feeling that swell of emotions, when I come back to myself, what's the right choice? The right choice is to know that you're not by yourself and that there are people that can support you, whether it's a loved one, larger communities, and certainly any kind of medical provider that might be able to help you.
Wonderful. Great advice. We have comments saying thank you, great advice. Appreciated the work with the ball. And just the very last question in the last 2 minutes or so, have you long been practicing this movement work, and how has it changed over the years as you integrate different practices and traditions?
Oh man, yeah, I've definitely practiced. Like the things that I actually, we taught today, the Dao Yin is a every morning thing for us. The Qigong, the movement that I was teaching earlier is, a set of exercises that I've practiced on and off for probably 15, 20 years almost. And other practices within integrated movement like that, they inform each other. So most definitely, for a very long time, they're still very alive in what we do. And because it's not about always reinventing the wheel for us, it's about trying to refine that wheel that we have. We got the wheel that we have. There's going to be times where you like it and you don't like it. But if there's that one tool that you really know how to use really well, and you can keep coming back to that, we find that that has a lot of bandwidth within our life.
Before I was a mother and practitioner of Asian medicine, I was a yoga teacher of Vinyasa yoga as well as a professional dancer. So the spectrum of movement and movement exploration I've had is pretty vast. And I go back to that statement that I made earlier. Any tool can be the right tool. Sometimes I need to do just that bit of rubbing in my heart, and because I feel a tightness in my chest sometimes. There are times when the practice of being present and laughing with my kid, or turning on music and dancing like nobody's watching, is the right practice. Or sometimes I feel like I need something that feels very invigorating and explosive, and I have my practices where I jump, I lunge, I press my hands overhead in a vigorous way, but I think it comes from this place of, again, of embodiment, reflection, and then action. What is my need? What's accessible to me? And how can I imagine myself doing it in this environment? And then trying.
Wonderful. What a gift. Thank you, Erin. Thank you, Gayla. I'm going to turn it over to Amy.
Thank you so much again, Gayla and Erin, for being with us today. And thank you all for joining us. Please visit thebreathingtree.com for more information about Gayla and Erin's work. Our next session is Thursday, May 14th with Lama Surya Das. Please keep checking garrisoninstitute.org for updated listing of future sessions and to view the recordings of this call and others. Again, we provide these sessions free of charge. If you would like to support this effort, please consider making a donation at garrisoninstitute.org. May everyone be happy, healthy, and safe. Thank you. Thank you.